What if one of the Washington quarters sitting in an old jar, drawer, bankroll, or pocket change collection was hiding a detail almost everyone else overlooked? Today we're examining 5 Washington quarters dated 1995P, 1990D, 1985P, 1979D, and 1971. And we're not just checking the dates. We're looking closely at the mint marks, lettering, Washington's portrait, eagle reverse, rims, strike quality, and unusual mint-made characteristics that can completely change the collector story. In our fictional high-value countdown, we'll imagine extreme one-of-a-kind error scenarios reaching from $1.9 million to more than $6 million. But remember, the date alone would never create that kind of mark. Maybe the first thing you notice on this 1984 Washington quarter, but collectors know the real investigation goes much deeper than one letter. Coins from the 1980s often circulated heavily, picked up scratches, lost their original luster, and became so familiar that most people stopped paying attention to them. That creates an interesting situation. When a 1984 P survives with an unusual mint-made characteristic, stronger than normal condition, or dramatic production error, it can separate itself quickly from the millions of ordinary examples people ignored. Begin with the P mint mark beside Washington's ponytail. Study its shape and the metal surrounding it. Then move down to the 1984 date and inspect all 4 digits. Look for anything that appears unusually thick, shifted, incomplete, or doubled. After that, examine "In God We Trust" and "Liberty." Small lettering can sometimes reveal die characteristics more clearly than the portrait itself, but one unusual-looking edge is not enough to prove a rare variety. That is where beginners get trapped. A heavily circulated quarter can accumulate scratches, dents, stains, corrosion, and flattened metal. A hit near the mint mark can distort the P. Machine-related damage can create a second-looking edge around letters. A scratch can imitate a die crack. The feature has to make sense as something created during the minting process, not something that happened years later. Now inspect Washington's portrait. Study the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields around the face. Condition can become extremely important. 2 1984 P quarters may carry the exact same date and mint mark, yet one can be heavily worn while another retains much sharper detail, cleaner fields, and stronger original luster. Then turn the coin over and inspect the eagle reverse. Look at the eagle's wings, breast, legs, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Pay special attention to anything that appears missing, distorted, shifted, or unusually weak. This is where the big money possibility enters the story. A normal circulated 1984 P Washington quarter is not automatically valuable, but a major authenticated mint error, wrong planchy strike, dramatic off-center strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move a quarter from 25 cents into hundreds or thousands of dollars. Extremely unusual production errors across the Washington quarter series can reach even stronger collector territory. The critical phrase is the right coin. Not every 1984 P. Not every strange mark. The right error, right diagnostic, and right condition. Tilt the quarter slowly beneath a strong light and watch the edges of the date, P mint mark, and lettering. If a suspicious feature remains consistent from several angles, it deserves closer examination. And if something looks unusual, do not clean the coin. Do not polish it. Do not scrape around the mint mark. Do not use chemicals trying to improve the surface. So whenever you find a 1984 P Washington quarter, check the P mint mark, inspect the 1984 date, study the lettering, examine Washington's portrait, and turn the coin over to inspect the eagle A&D rim. Because sometimes a quarter everyone considers ordinary becomes interesting for one reason. Something about the way it was made is not ordinary at all. Number 5 is the 1995 P Washington quarter, and in our fictional extreme rarity scenario, imagine discovering a previously unknown 1995 P with a spectacular mint error, unique die characteristics, and extraordinary preservation that pushes collector interest into a completely different category, perhaps even an imagined $1.9 million headline value. Start with the 1995 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait. Examine all 4 digits carefully under magnification, especially the edges of the 9s and 5, looking for genuine secondary impressions, unusual thickness, separation, or distorted metal that seems connected to the die rather than random circulation damage. Next, move to the small P mint mark on the right side of Washington's portrait. Your supplied coin clearly shows a P, identifying it as a Philadelphia issue. This tiny mint mark deserves serious attention because collectors often study its exact shape, placement, surrounding metal, and possible die characteristics. A scratch beside the P is not automatically a rare error, and flattened metal caused by circulation can sometimes create misleading shapes, so the key is finding a feature that appears consistently mint-made. Now inspect Liberty across the top of the obverse. Look carefully at each letter for unusual doubling, thick edges, or repeated outlines. Then move to In God We Trust, one of the best areas to examine because the smaller letters can make genuine die abnormalities easier to notice. Pay attention to the vertical strokes and spacing between letters. Next, study Washington's portrait, especially the hair above the ear, cheek, jawline, neck, and the open fields around the face. The 1995 P coin shown in your image has visible circulation wear, so any unusual-looking feature needs to be separated from scratches, contact marks, staining, or environmental damage. In our fictional $1 million scenario, we would be imagining something far beyond normal where a previously undocumented dramatic double die, major off-center strike, wrong planche strike, or another extreme mint mistake combined with exceptional condition. Flip the quarter over and examine the classic eagle reverse. Study United States of America, E pluribus unum, the eagle's head, wings, breast feathers, arrows, olive branches, and the words quarter dollar. Pay particularly close attention to the eagle's feathers because strong strike detail can disappear quickly through circulation. Inspect the full circumference of the rim as well. A genuinely dramatic off-center strike, clipped planche, broad strike, die crack, cut, or struck through error could immediately make a quarter much more interesting. But common dents and edge damage should not be confused with mint errors. In our fictional high-value scenario, imagine this 1995 P Washington quarter turning out to be the only known example of a major previously undocumented mint error, with sharp original detail and diagnostics no other specimen shares. That imagined combination of uniqueness plus major error plus condition plus collector demand is what creates our $1.9 million fantasy value, not simply the 1995 P date itself. Most 1995 P quarters are ordinary circulation coins, so the real lesson is to inspect rather than assume. And never clean a suspicious coin. Polishing, scraping, or chemicals can permanently change the surfaces and destroy important evidence. Check the date, P mint mark, lettering, portrait, eagle, rim, metal, and surfaces exactly as they are. A 1980 D Washington quarter is exactly the kind of coin most people would never expect to become interesting. It is not extremely old, it circulated heavily, and millions of Americans have handled quarters from this era without ever checking them closely. But collectors do not judge a coin by age alone. They look for the right mint mark, unusual die characteristics, major strike errors, unexpected planche problems, and exceptional preservation. That means the real question is not simply whether you have a 1980 D quarter. The real question is whether your coin has something the ordinary examples do not. Start with the small D mint mark beside Washington's ponytail. Study its shape, position, and the surrounding metal. Then move down to the 1980 date and inspect every digit carefully. Look for unusual thickness, separation, distortion, or anything that appears inconsistent with the rest of the design. After that, move to In God We Trust and then Liberty. These smaller design elements can sometimes reveal suspicious die characteristics more clearly than the larger portrait. But this is also where circulation damage creates false excitement. A hit near the D can distort the mint mark. Flattened metal can imitate doubling. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Environmental staining can make the surface look dramatically different. That does not automatically create a rare variety. A genuine mint-made characteristic should fit logically with how the coin was produced. Now examine Washington's portrait. Look closely at the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields surrounding the face. This is where condition begins to matter. A heavily circulated 1980 D quarter may show weak details and many contact marks, while a much sharper survivor can retain stronger luster, cleaner fields, and more defined design elements. When a legitimate production feature combines with exceptional preservation, collector interest can rise much faster. Then flip the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the eagle's wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Look for anything unusually weak, incomplete, doubled, shifted, or distorted. Also follow the rim around the entire reverse. A genuine off-center strike, broad strike, clipped planchet, or other major striking problem often affects more than one area of the coin. This is where the big money possibility becomes exciting. A normal circulated 1980 D Washington quarter may remain close to face value, but the right major mint error, wrong planchet strike, dramatic striking anomaly, significant die variety, or extreme high-grade survivor can move a quarter into hundreds or thousands of dollars. The strongest Washington quarter errors can enter even higher collector territory when the exact rarity supports it. But remember the rule: the date alone does not create the value. The money comes from the right error, right diagnostic, right condition, and right coin. Tilt the quarter slowly under strong light. Watch the edges of the D mint mark, date, lettering, and rim. If a suspicious feature remains consistent from several angles, it deserves closer study. And if something looks unusual, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals trying to improve the surface. Original surfaces can become extremely important if the coin turns out to be collectible. So whenever you find a 1980 D Washington quarter, check the D mint mark, inspect the 1980 date, study In God We Trust, examine Washington's portrait, and flip the coin over to inspect the eagle rim AND surfaces. Because sometimes a modern-looking quarter becomes interesting for one simple reason: the mint did something different AND almost nobody noticed. Number 4 is the 1990 D Washington quarter, and in our fictional high-value scenario, imagine discovering a 1990 D that carries a dramatic mint-made error, an unusual die variety, and preservation so exceptional that it becomes a one-of-a-kind collector trophy. In that extreme fictional situation, we're assigning it a headline value of $2.8 million. Start with the 1990 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait and inspect each digit carefully, especially the 2 nines and the 0. Look for strong secondary outlines, unusual thickness, separation, misplaced-looking metal, or other characteristics that appear connected to the die rather than ordinary scratches or circulation wear. Then move to the small D mint mark on the right side of Washington's portrait. Your supplied coin clearly shows the D, identifying it as a Denver Mint issue. Examine the shape of that D, its position, the metal immediately around it, and any unusual-looking edges. A random hit near the mint mark can easily create a false impression of doubling or repunching. So a truly important feature would need to look mint-made and consistent rather than irregular damage. Now move across the obverse and inspect Liberty at the top of the coin and In God We Trust to the left of Washington's neck. The smaller letters are especially useful because genuine die-related doubling can sometimes be easier to recognize there than across the larger portrait. Look for repeated-looking edges, clear separation, or unusual thickness that follows the lettering consistently. Next, examine Washington's portrait, including the hair, forehead, eye, cheek, jawline, neck, and the open fields surrounding the design. The coin shown in your image has visible circulation wear and surface marks, so any unusual feature needs to be separated from normal contact marks, scratches, dirt, or environmental staining. In our fictional $2.8 million scenario, we would be imagining something far more dramatic: a major off-center strike, wrong planchy strike, broad strike, spectacular double die, or another previously undocumented mint error combined with unusually sharp preservation. Flip the quarter over and examine the classic eagle reverse. Study United States of America, PLURIBUS UNUM, the eagle's head, wing feathers, breast, arrows, olive branches, and quarter dollar. Pay very close attention to the eagle's feathers because this area gives you a large amount of fine detail to compare. Then follow the rim all the way around the coin. Genuine mint made abnormalities such as a dramatic clipped planchet, off-center strike, die crack. Cud, struck through error, or broad strike can make a coin much more interesting, while dents and flattening from circulation usually do not. Now imagine a 1990 D quarter appearing with a previously unknown major mint error, sharp original surfaces, powerful strike detail, and diagnostics unlike any other known specimen. That fantasy combination of rarity plus unique error plus condition plus collector demand is what creates our fictional $2.8 million value, not the 1990 D date by itself. Most 1990 D Washington quarters are ordinary circulation coins, so the real hunt is always in the details. And never clean a suspicious quarter. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals. Preserve the original surfaces and inspect the date. D mint mark, lettering, portrait, eagle, rim, strike, and metal exactly as found. A 1974 Washington quarter is the kind of coin that can disappear into a jar for decades because nothing about the date immediately screams rarity. But that is exactly why collectors slow down when they find one with an unusual strike, suspicious die characteristic, abnormal planchet, or exceptionally strong preservation. With this date, the real opportunity is not simply owning a quarter from 1974, it is finding the right version of that quarter. Start with the 1974 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait. Examine all 4 digits carefully. Look for unusual thickness, separation, distortion, or doubling around the edges. Then move to In God We Trust and inspect each letter under strong light. After that, study Liberty across the top. Small lettering can sometimes reveal die-related abnormalities more clearly than the larger portrait, but remember that ordinary scratches, flattened metal, and circulation damage can create very convincing false alarms. Now inspect the area beside Washington's ponytail for the mint mark. Depending on the exact issue, identifying the mint is essential before comparing your coin with known varieties or collector populations. A strange-looking mint mark should not automatically be called rare. A hit from another coin, corrosion, or surface damage can distort the letter enough to make it look dramatically different from its original shape. Next, focus on Washington's portrait. Examine the hair, cheek, jaw, neck, and the large open fields around the face. These areas tell you a lot about condition. A heavily circulated 1974 quarter may show flattened details and numerous contact marks, while a sharper survivor can retain much more definition and original luster. 2 coins with the same date can have completely different collector appeal simply because one survived far better. Then flip the coin over and study the eagle reverse. Look at the wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America and quarter dollar. Follow the rim around the entire coin. A major off-center strike, clipped planchet, broad strike, or another genuine production problem usually affects the design in a consistent way rather than appearing as one random damaged spot. This is where the big money possibility comes into play. A normal circulated 1974 Washington quarter is not automatically valuable, but a dramatic authenticated mint error, unusual planchet strike, significant die variety, or exceptionally high-grade survivor can move a coin into hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the exact rarity and condition. The important part is that the value comes from the error or exceptional specimen, not simply from the 1974 date. Be careful with anything that looks dramatic. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Machine damage can imitate doubling. Corrosion can make letters appear missing. The feature has to make sense as part of the original minting process. And if you see something unusual, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become extremely important once a coin enters serious collector territory. So whenever you find a 1974 Washington quarter, check the date, identify the mint mark, inspect In God We Trust, study Washington's portrait, and turn the coin over to examine the eagle rim and surfaces. Because sometimes the quarter that looks completely ordinary becomes interesting for one reason: the detail everyone else missed. Number 3 is the 1985 P Washington quarter, and in our fictional high-value scenario, imagine finding a 1985 P that looks ordinary at first glance, but turns out to carry a dramatic mint-made variety, an unusual strike characteristic, and exceptional preservation that separates it from every other known example. In that extreme fictional case, we're assigning it a headline value of $3.6 million. Start with the 1985 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait. Inspect all 4 digits under strong light and magnification, paying close attention to the shapes of the 8 and 5, the spaces between the digits, and any secondary-looking outlines, unusual thickness, or displaced metal that appears to be part of the strike rather than a scratch or contact mark. Then move to the small P mint mark on the right side of Washington's portrait. Your supplied coin clearly shows the P, identifying it as a Philadelphia mint issue. Examine the shape of that P, its exact placement, and the metal around it. A genuine die-related characteristic should look consistent and connected to the coin's manufacture, while random gouges, flattening, or damage around the mint mark are usually post-mint. Next, inspect Liberty across the top and In God We Trust to the left of Washington's neck. Look for strong, repeated-looking edges, clear separation, unusual letter thickness, or any feature that appears on multiple parts of the design in a consistent way. Then study Washington's portrait, especially the hair detail, forehead, eye, cheek, jawline, neck, and the open fields surrounding the portrait. Your coin shows circulation wear and surface marks, so any suspicious detail should be judged carefully. In our fictional $3.6 million scenario, the dream example would need something extraordinary, perhaps a major double die, off-center strike, wrong planche, broad strike, or another previously undocumented mint error, combined with unusually clean surfaces and a strong strike. Flip the coin over and examine the classic eagle reverse. Study United States of America, E pluribus unum, the eagle's head, body, wing feathers, arrows, olive branches, and quarter dollar. Pay special attention to the eagle's feathers and the lettering around the rim, because these areas can reveal weakness, doubling, die cracks, or unusual strike characteristics. Follow the rim around the entire coin and look for dramatic clipped planche, cud, die cracks struck through, or off-center features that clearly originated during production. Now imagine a 1985 P quarter turning up with a unique combination of a major mint error, a previously unknown die variety, strong original luster, and near-perfect preservation. That imaginary combination of rarity plus error plus condition plus uniqueness is what creates our fictional $3.6 million value, not the 1985 P date alone. Most 1985 P quarters are normal circulation coins, so the real opportunity is in identifying the unusual specimen correctly. And as always, never clean a suspicious coin. Do not polish, scrape, or chemically treat it. Preserve the date, P mint mark, lettering, portrait, eagle, rim, strike, and surfaces exactly as found. A 1969 Washington quarter may look like nothing more than an older piece of pocket change. But this is exactly the kind of date collectors can overlook, because the real value story is rarely printed clearly on the surface. The year itself does not automatically make the coin rare. What matters is whether that particular quarter carries the right die characteristic, an unusual strike, a legitimate planche error, or survives in a level of condition that separates it from the thousands of worn examples still sitting in old jars and collections. Start with the 1969 date beneath Washington's portrait. Look carefully at all 4 digits. Inspect the edges of the numbers for unusual thickness, separation, shifting, or anything that appears repeated. Then move to In God We Trust and study each letter individually. After that, examine Liberty around the upper rim. These areas deserve close attention because small die abnormalities can sometimes become easier to see around letters and numbers than across the larger portrait. But this is also where old circulation damage can fool you. A scratch can resemble a die crack. Flattened metal can imitate doubling. Corrosion can make parts of a letter seem missing. And a strong contact mark can distort a design element enough to look like something dramatic under magnification. That is why a genuine mint-made feature has to fit logically with the way the coin was struck. Now study Washington's portrait. Look at the hair, forehead, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open fields around the face. The amount of remaining detail can tell you a great deal about the coin's condition. Many 1969 quarters spent years circulating, so an unusually sharp example with stronger original surfaces can immediately become more interesting than an average worn coin. Then, turn the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the wings, breast, legs, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, and quarter dollar. Follow the rim all the way around. Look for anything that seems off-center, unusually weak, clipped, distorted, or affected by abnormal metal flow. This is where the big money possibility comes into the picture. A typical circulated 1969 Washington quarter may remain close to face value, but a dramatic authenticated mint error, wrong planche strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move the discussion into hundreds or thousands of dollars. More extreme Washington quarter errors can command even stronger collector attention when the exact diagnostic and rarity support it. The important distinction is simple: 1969 is only the starting point. The serious value comes from the right error, right diagnostic, right strike, and right condition. Tilt the quarter under strong light and examine the date, lettering, rim, and reverse from several angles. If an unusual feature remains consistent, it deserves a closer look. And whatever you find, do not clean it. Do not polish it, scrape it, or use chemicals to improve the appearance. Original surfaces can become extremely important if the coin actually has collector significance. So whenever a 1969 Washington quarter appears in an old roll, drawer, collection, or pocket change, do not simply read the date and move on. Check the 1969 date. Inspect the lettering. Study Washington's portrait. Examine the eagle reverse. Follow the rim. Because sometimes the quarter everyone else spends is the one hiding the mint-made detail they never checked. Next up, Coin 1 1967 Washington quarter. Number 2 is the 1979 D Washington quarter, and in our fictional high-value countdown, this is where the numbers get even bigger. Imagine finding a 1979 D quarter that looks like ordinary pocket change but turns out to carry a major mint-made error, an unusual die variety, and preservation so strong that collectors consider it a one-of-a-kind trophy coin. In that extreme fictional scenario, we're assigning this coin a headline value of $4.7 million. Start with the 1979 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait. Examine the 1, 9, 7, and final 9 carefully under strong magnification, looking for secondary-looking outlines, unusual thickness, distortion, separation, or extra metal that appears to come from the die rather than from circulation. Then move to the small D mint mark on the right side of Washington's portrait. Your supplied coin clearly shows the D, identifying it as a Denver Mint issue. This is one of the first areas worth checking closely. Study the shape of the D, its exact position, the metal around its edges, and any unusual-looking impressions nearby. In our fictional million-dollar scenario, imagine discovering a dramatic mint mark anomaly combined with a second major die characteristic, creating a combination no other 1979 D quarter is known to have. Next, inspect Liberty across the top of the coin and In God We Trust on the left side. Look for strong, doubling, repeated edges, unusually thick letters, or separation that follows the actual design. Random scratches, dents, or flattened metal can imitate valuable-looking features, So the most important distinction is whether the unusual detail appears mint-made or simply happened after years in circulation. Now examine Washington's portrait carefully. Study the hair above and behind the ear, forehead, eye, nose, cheek, jawline, neck, and the open fields surrounding the portrait. The coin in your image shows noticeable circulation wear and some discoloration, which means unusual marks must be interpreted cautiously. But in our fictional $4.7 million version, imagine an extraordinary example with sharp hair detail, clean fields, strong original surfaces, and a massive mint error such as a wrong planche strike. Dramatic off-center strike, major double die, broad strike, or another previously unknown production mistake. Flip the quarter over and inspect the classic eagle reverse. Examine United States of America, E pluribus unum, the eagle's head, chest, wings, feather detail, arrows, olive branches, and the words quarter dollar. Follow the rim around the entire reverse, watching for strong die cracks, retained cuds, missing design areas, struck through material, clipping, or unusual expansion around the edge. A dramatic mint error on the reverse can sometimes be much easier to spot than something subtle on Washington's portrait. Now imagine this 1979 D quarter combining a unique die variety, major mint error, exceptional strike, and near-perfect preservation in one previously unknown specimen. That fantasy combination of rarity plus error plus condition plus uniqueness is what creates our fictional $4.7 million value. The date itself does not create that number. The imagined value comes from the ultimate collector scenario. And if you ever find a suspicious 1979 D quarter, do not clean it, polish it. Scratch around the mint mark or use chemicals. Preserve the date, D mint mark, lettering, portrait, eagle, rim, strike, and surfaces exactly as found. A 1967 Washington quarter deserves the #1 position in this countdown because this date comes from a very unusual period in modern U.S. coinage. At first glance, it may look like an ordinary worn quarter with no mint mark, but that absence is actually normal for this year. During this period, quarters were produced without mint marks, which means the real hunt is not about finding a tiny P, D, or S beside Washington's portrait. Instead, collectors focus much more closely on the strike, planche, die characteristics, condition, and any genuine mint-made error that could separate one 1967 quarter from another. Start with the 1967 date at the bottom of the obverse. Examine all 4 digits carefully. Look for unusual thickness, shifting, separation, or distorted edges. Then move to In God We Trust and inspect the lettering under strong light. After that, study Liberty around the upper rim. Small lettering and numbers can sometimes reveal suspicious die characteristics more clearly than the larger portrait, but one unusual-looking edge does not automatically mean you have discovered something rare. Now examine Washington's portrait. Look carefully at the hair, forehead, cheek, jaw, neck, and the open field surrounding the face. On circulated quarters, scratches and contact marks can create shapes that look dramatic under magnification. A scratch can imitate a die crack. Flattened metal can resemble doubling. Corrosion or environmental damage can make part of a letter appear missing. The important question is always whether the feature makes sense as something created during the minting process. Then turn the quarter over and inspect the eagle reverse. Study the eagle's wings, breast, arrows, olive branches, and the lettering around United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. Follow the rim around the entire coin. Look for an unusual offset, missing design area, abnormal rim width, strange metal flow, or anything suggesting a genuine off-center strike, clipped planche, broad strike, or another production anomaly. This is where the big money possibility becomes especially interesting. A normal circulated 1967 Washington quarter is not automatically a jackpot, but a dramatic genuine mint error. Unusual planche strike, significant die variety, or exceptional high-grade survivor can move the coin far beyond 25 cents. The right error can enter hundreds or thousands of dollars, and major Washington quarter production mistakes can command even stronger collector attention when the exact rarity and diagnostics support it. And because 1967 quarters normally do not carry a mint mark, do not assume a missing mint mark is an error. That is one of the easiest mistakes beginners can make with this date. Instead, focus on what actually matters: the metal, the strike, the die details, the rim, the condition. Tilt the quarter slowly under strong light and inspect both sides from several angles. If something looks raised, doubled, shifted, or unusually struck, compare it with the rest of the coin before reaching a conclusion. And if you think you have found something important, do not clean it. Do not polish the surface, scrape the lettering, or use chemicals. Original surfaces can become extremely important when a coin turns out to have genuine collector significance. So whenever you find a 1967 Washington quarter, check the 1967 date, inspect "In God We Trust," study Washington's portrait, examine the eagle reverse, follow the rim, and remember that the lack of a mint mark is expected. Because with this coin, the valuable clue may not be a letter that is missing. It may be a mint-made detail almost everyone else failed to notice. Number 1 is the 1971 Washington quarter, and this is the coin in the group that deserves the closest inspection because one tiny area on the obverse can create immediate confusion. In our fictional high-value scenario, imagine discovering a 1971 quarter with an unusual mint-made feature, a previously undocumented die variety, and extraordinary preservation that turns an ordinary-looking 25-cent piece into a one-of-a-kind collector trophy. In that extreme fictional case, we're assigning it a headline value of $6.2 million. Start with the 1971 date at the bottom of Washington's portrait and inspect all 4 digits carefully, especially the 2 1s and the 7, looking for strong secondary outlines, unusual thickness, extra metal, distortion, or separation that appears to come from the die rather than from scratches or wear. Then move to the area on the right side of Washington's portrait where a mint mark would normally be expected on later quarters. On a normal 1971 Philadelphia Washington quarter, there should be no P mint mark, so if you see a small shape that looks like a P, do not immediately assume you have discovered a rare mint error. It could be a contact mark, stain, displaced metal, corrosion, damage, or another surface feature. But in our fictional $6.2 million scenario, imagine that this strange mark turned out to be a genuine, previously unknown mint-made diagnostic tied directly to the die itself. That would immediately make the coin a major mystery and the kind of piece specialists would want to study in detail. Now inspect Liberty across the top and "In God We Trust" on the left side of Washington's portrait. Look for strong doubling, repeated edges, unusual spacing, or letters that appear thicker than expected. Then study Washington's portrait, including the hair, forehead, eye, cheek, jawline, neck, and the open fields around the design. The supplied coin shows visible wear and surface marks, so any strange detail must be separated carefully from normal circulation damage. In our fictional jackpot version, however, imagine an example with razor-sharp details, strong original surfaces, very little wear, and a dramatic mint-made characteristic that appears nowhere else. Flip the quarter over and examine the classic eagle reverse. Study United States of America, E Pluribus Unum, the eagle's head, breast, wings, feather detail, arrows, olive branches, and quarter dollar. Follow the entire rim and search for a genuine off-center strike, clipped plancha, broad strike, die crack, cud, struck through error, or another major production abnormality. If an unusual obverse feature were paired with a dramatic reverse error, the collector's story would become even more extraordinary. In our fictional scenario, imagine this 1971 quarter combining a mysterious mint-made mark, a unique die variety, exceptional strike quality, and near-perfect preservation in one previously unknown specimen. That imagined combination of mystery plus rarity plus error plus condition plus collector demand is what creates our fictional $6.2 million headline value, not the 1971 date by itself. And never clean a suspicious quarter. Do not polish it, scrape the unusual area, or use chemicals in an attempt to make a possible mint mark easier to see. Preserve the date, lettering, portrait, reverse, rim, strike, and surfaces exactly as found. Because in this fictional countdown, one tiny feature in the wrong place could be the clue behind a $6.2 million discovery.